Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, a good afternoon and not good evening as every Friday. This is John Faraclas from allaboutshipping.co.uk in Athens. We're having an early reporting of the indexes, the markets of course, and geopolitics affecting same. That's because we are having an early, let's call it start. We are flying off to the island of Chios, where the Bureau Veritas AGM and event is taking place on this holy island for the Greeks, the most important island of paramount importance for Greek shipping. So here we go with the markets. The BDI closed down 6 points at 586, which is 48 points since last week's 634. So you can see there is an instability, not just the sustainability that everybody expected, an instability of what is going on in the markets. The BCI 2014 closed down at 916, minus 20 points since yesterday and minus 29 points since last week's 945 points. The Panamaxes, the BPI, was down 7 points at 549, and overall since last week's 579 was down 30 points. The BSI was the only dry index which was up for 3 points at 627, minus 1 point since last week's 628 points. And finally, the BHSI was steady, completely steady, at 327. It was the same last week at 327 points too. The wets were different, of course, as always they are, with the BDTI closing down 20 points at 918, and that's plus 12 points since last week's 806. That's up 112 points since last week's 806. And the BCTI was down 3 points at 668, which is a plus of 31 points since last week's 637. So as you can see, it is a very volatile market. There's no sustainability at all. Okay? Now, on the international stage, the world politics, Ukraine, I don't need to go further. Whatever we have said, it has come out verbatim to be true. We know dead well the geopolitical games. After all, it's an inheritance that few they have, having been in the region there for more than 400 years. Okay, make a note on this. So we know exactly what will be the outcome of these events in Ukraine. Furthermore, Greece, which is always another focal point. Still, the Greek government is assuring us, if I may say so, that they are still negotiating hard negotiations. I tell you, I don't give any strength on these negotiations. These are not negotiations. We are talking, Mr. Tsipras and your government, to somebody like me, and openly I'm telling you, as a shipbroker, this is not a way to negotiate. And of course, if you really want to become a hero of the Greeks, you should always remember the late JFK's maxim, never fear to negotiate, both inside Greece and outside, but you must be very good negotiator. That applies to your entire government. This is very important. Equally, we are stressing to the Europeans who have lended money to Greece themselves also to stop Mickey Mousing about. They've got, like the International Monetary Fund, they've got also skeletons in their cupboard. Now, other issues, big events who takes place in the world's capital of shipping. This is the Athenian Democracies event who took place, the ESPO, the European Ship Ports Organization Conference of 2015, a 2 days super event, and as you know, the logo was no ports, no energy, no energy, no ports. That was an event which we wholeheartedly congratulate Isabel Rickburst and her team there, who offered a really amazing event. Obviously, the last day of the event, we've been very pleased to see the Greek alternate minister for shipping affairs, Mr. Theodore Dritschas, but unfortunately, we didn't like at all the appearance of demonstrators who, at their ease, if I may say so, everybody thinks there's a whole setup. They appeared and they said that with a big poster there that they are opposing the privatization of the port of Piraeus. This is a great shame, I am sorry to say so. It was a great event, and I'm sure you will read in other pages of our site what has happened in this super event. Other events that took place was, of course, the amazing events, if I may say so, that the publication Nαυτικά Χρονικά have done together with Katerini Laskaridis Foundation in Piraeus, a really super event about the great leaders, the leaders of Greek ship ownership, if I may say so, the Greek ship owners. That was a great event, you can read in other pages. Of course, some details must be re-aired again, but overall it was a super event. Congratulations to all. As I said earlier on, very soon Bureau Veritas event will start at the Argenticon, one of the most famous places on earth on Chios. If you recall back in 1988, Argenticon was amongst the 3 best destinations to have your honeymoon. Tonight, Bureau Veritas is hosting the annual dinner there. It's an amazing event, and we will report on you. We like also to remind you of some more coming events up. That event has to do with the Posidonia Sea Tourism Forum on the 26th and 27th of this month. Needless to say, the European Day of Shipping is coming on the 28th, another very big event. And of course, as the summer is coming up, we have urged you to come around to the Greek islands and the Greek coastline. That of course applies to all Mediterranean. It's the great Nostra Mare for all of us, which of course needs a caution because of the migrants issue. Lastly, we shouldn't forget the despicable acts of barbarism is a word, of ISIS, who now unfortunately, according to the reports, they control great parts of Syria and Iraq. This must be something which people should think of and finish them off. What are we waiting for? With this, because we have an early flight to Chios, we say to you goodbye, have a nice evening and a lovely weekend. This is John Faraclas from allaboutshipping.co.uk this late afternoon in Athens. Over and out.